Guys, we need to talk. Hey, this is Malika. I'm on a journey to lose about 200 pounds, and hopefully along the way, I am encouraging you to be your best self. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I noticed, and this is really like unscripted, and I didn't really plan out much of what I wanted to say, but I just wanted to come here and share a little bit. So, sorry if I start rambling because, like I said, it's pretty unscripted. I'll try to edit out most of my rambles. I'm outside, so there's a lot of outside noises, dogs barking, trains going by, planes flying over, cars speeding down the road. But I'm gonna try to talk like in between the noise. But anyway, so if you saw my weigh-in video this week, I gained a little bit of weight, and I said I was okay with that, and I was, but I wanted to really talk about some of the thought processes that I had around that, and some of the negative talk and the unhealthy relationships that we have with food. The reason I said I was okay with my weight gain was because if you saw that video, it was my son's birthday. So I indulged in cake and ice cream. I didn't worry about going over my calories. So I knew I was going to have that weight gain. Like, even at one point during the week, I was like 3 pounds up. So to come back down to 0.8 was a good thing. Now, if I had done everything perfectly and I stayed in my range all week and still had a gain, then I probably would have been more upset. But anyway, so even though I knew that I was eating over my calorie range and I knew the weight gain was possible, the negative thoughts for me still came up. I still had that in the beginning, and that's something that we have to work so hard to overcome so that we aren't having these negative thought processes. So one of my negative thoughts that I had was, oh my gosh, I gained a bunch of weight, so I'm just not going to eat anything the next day. And that's like such an unhealthy thing to think. That's a binging and starving mentality, and that is not the way we want to be. That's not having a healthy relationship with food, and that's not a healthy way for us to be in our weight loss journeys. And that's something that in the past I would have like ran with that thought and like, okay, so I went all out, I had cake and ice cream today, so tomorrow I'm not going to eat anything. But I'm at the point now where I have grown and I have gotten stronger in that area. So when that negative thought came up, I had to tell myself, whoa, hold on. That is not a healthy way to think about this, and that's not a healthy way to move forward. Those are the thought patterns and the unhealthy behaviors that have made me regain weight before when I had lost it. So the way for me to move forward is not starving myself, but just getting back on track. And I had to think to myself, if a friend had a weight gain, because I have lots of friends here in the weight loss community on YouTube and that are documenting their journeys. A lot of them have had weight gains. And so what would I have said to them? So when I had that thought and I wanted to start beating myself up about the gain, I didn't want to have to come on saying I had a gain. But the reality is, as we're losing, there will be some gains sometimes. Success never is just a straight path. There's going to be failures along the way in any goal. And so especially with weight loss, as we're losing, there's going to be some gains along the way. And I know that, but that negative thought still popped up in my head. And so I had to think to myself for a second, now, what would I have said if this was one of my friends that had gained weight? And you know what I would have said, because I've done it before? I told them that's a normal part of the journey, so just course correct and keep it moving. And I had to tell myself that. So when I gained, even though initially I had that thought, I said, no, I need to course correct and keep it moving. And so that meant for me to get right back into my calorie range and the healthy habits that I had built up until this point. It didn't mean that the next day I'm going to starve myself to kind of undo what I did the day before, because that's not the way I want to go about this health journey. And so I want you guys to think about that when you have those negative thoughts pop up in your head. So maybe if you overindulge in cookies or cakes or chips or whatever your thing is, that if you start having that negative thought where you start beating yourself up about what you ate, or if you see that gain on the scale and you're beating yourself up about that gain, I want you to stop and think, what would I say to a friend right now that was experiencing the same thing? For whatever reason, we say things to ourselves that we would never say to someone else. And so think about, what would I say to a friend? Or if you are a parent, what would I say to my child going through this right now? And say those things to yourself to get yourself back on track. A big part of this and having the success and keeping it off long term is mental and emotional, and those thoughts that we're thinking around food and the scale and everything else that is involved in a health journey. So I hope this kind of made sense for you guys. I have those negative thoughts that pop up too, but it's just a matter of stopping them immediately and reframing things. I pray that if you have those negative thoughts, that you will recognize that immediately and start speaking to yourself as you would a friend that was going through that same thing. And if it's something that you feel you really can't control or you may need help with, then seek the help of a professional, whether it's a mental health professional, a nutritionist, or dietitian, whoever you may need to go to help you learn how to stop that, because the negative thoughts are gonna come. They're gonna come pretty much with anything we do. We're gonna have those negative thoughts, but we have to learn how to stop them and replace those thoughts with some positivity, positive thinking, affirmations, whatever it is that we need to replace those thoughts with. So I just wanted to come on here and say that, and I pray that if that's something that you struggle with, that God gives you the strength to overcome that. And I just pray that you realize that those thoughts and behaviors are not serving you to be the healthiest that you can be and to being your best self. You're stronger than you think you are, and you can get through those valleys. Keep working on those healthy habits and strengthening yourself mentally, and you will get to where you want to be. Like I said before, there's a great weight loss community here on YouTube. We are all here to encourage you along the way, or if you need a pick-me-up, we're here for that too, because we've all been there. So I hope that made sense. I just wanted to kind of speak from the heart. Like I said, I may have rambled a little bit, but hopefully that made sense. So you guys have an awesome day. Be blessed, and I will see you next time.